Okay, welcome back again. I'm very excited to be with you today and really start talking about intimacy. And I'm just gonna jump right in there and share with you about what was going on at the point I even heard the Lord speak this to me. I think I shared with you last time. Somewhere on our journey, the whole thing about the control that I had. I had this thing about needing to control situations and needing to know the outcome or anticipate the outcome or set, I'd have expectations, and so there would be this, not even necessarily known to me, this need to make that, almost at a subconscious level, make that result happen in a situation, because that's what I expected to happen. So and then there was obvious also just controlling, like a planning and, do this because this is what I need to have happen. So there was a lot of inflexibility, I guess you could say. So as I started this journey of surrender in walking surrender to the Lord in absolute obedience, I think I started to develop this awareness of control. He'd tap my shoulder. I would be aware of when I would be trying to, be in control of something and have to, just say, okay, Lord, what do you have to say about that? But I also started to sense when I felt controlled or manipulated, if you will, like when I felt like someone else was trying to get a result that they wanted. And so I had been in a weekend with someone that's very, very close to me, someone that was very, very special person in my life that I was very close to. And just about the end of the weekend, I just had this sense that there was this kind of control and manipulation going on. Like it just didn't feel completely honest. And see that, intimacy and losing control is about, you have to be totally honest and not try to make something happen. And so, I was just talking to the Lord about how sad I was with all of that, and that it bothered me, and I really longed to have the kind of intimacy that I was learning to have with the Lord in the same way with this person. Like and I'm going to back up just a little bit here. Just some background on me is I grew up Catholic, and my parents laid a wonderful, amazing foundation of knowledge and information about God and about Jesus. I mean, I learned a lot and had always studied a lot of I can't tell you how many books I've read. I have this huge library of books about Jesus and about the Bible, and but I never understood like a relationship with the Lord. I grew up in an environment where prayers were like, when you prayed, it was a standard, scripted, rote, memorized prayer, and so like just talking with the Lord, I didn't even get that. I didn't even have an understanding or comprehension, and totally didn't know how to do it. So after I surrendered to the Lord, I remember just telling him, look, I don't know how to do this thing. I don't know how to have a conversation with you and how to just talk to you plain and simple. And of course, what I didn't realize is I actually was doing that as I was saying that to him. So I told him, you're gonna have to teach me how to just really be open and talk to you in that kind of way. And so as I was learning and growing and how to do that, and really just being honest about how I felt about things with the Lord, I became more aware of the lack of that in some of my other relationships. And part of that was me from fear. Like I was getting comfortable in doing that with the Lord, but I didn't know how to do that with someone else necessarily. Still a lot of fear of, being hurt or rejected or whatever was around that. But it was also it was two ways in that communication. So at the end of this weekend, this really hard weekend, I remember just telling the Lord, I just really wish that we had the same kind of intimacy that you and I have. And then he starts talking to me, an acronym, of course, about intimacy. And whenever the Lord says I, it's always about me, you know, when he gives me something in an acronym. So he says intimacy is that I need truthful internal motives, there's the word motives, to associate completely with Yeshua. And so I sat there with that thing about intimacy. I'm like, okay, I need truthful internal motives to associate completely with Yeshua. And you'll see that he's starting to connect some pieces for me. Like, so he's put the motives piece in there, which I totally had researched motives, so I understood what motives were all about. And I also had, you know, that little piece about internal motives started to ring true, because I remember when I studied purity, he talked about how he sees the inside, he sees the heart, and that's what he's looking for. So I remember sitting there saying, okay, so I need to be really, my motives have to be pure if I'm going to associate completely with Yeshua. In everything that I do, if I'm going to associate with Jesus, then my motives have to absolutely be pure. And, you know, and I heard him, you know, basically say yes. And I thought, okay, well, but then this is what he said. And he also added to this. He said, that question why, and we talked about the question why, I don't know, somewhere on the journey. It's a great, curious question. The problem is a lot of times I'm asking him why. And he basically said, why is not a question for me? Why is a question for you? If I have settled in my ability to surrender the why with God, why does he do things? It's because he's good and he's loving. If that question is settled to the point that I'm able to surrender, then the why question becomes about me. Like, why am I responding this way? Why am I reacting this way? And so he kind of flipped that on me, and that began the whole journey of observing myself. And so what I kept asking him, well, how, so do I need to just ask myself, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this all the time? To make sure that before I do something, my motive is pure, which to me got a little bit confusing anyway, because sometimes I wasn't sure. Like, I knew that this was the right thing to do, but could I be absolutely certain that I wasn't doing that for myself? And he said, no, that's why you walk surrendered in obedience. He said, your motives, you don't have to worry about your motives if you walk in obedience and you walk surrendered, because my motives are always pure. So your surrender and obedience is walking in purity before me, because you're trusting my motives are pure, so my motives become yours. Because the truth of it is, internally, I don't even know why I do some of the things I do. He knows the issues in my heart that I can't even see yet. The other thing that is interesting about that is he talked about the truthful internal motives. Well, see, it's all about truth. Well, I'm in the process of having my mind renewed, right? So I may not absolutely have truth in everything. I mean, I may still have beliefs that aren't right, and I don't even know they're not right, because I believe them until the truth gets settled in my mind. So because we do out of our beliefs, I can't have truthful intentions or truthful pure motives until, you know, without a completely renewed mind. That's why walking in obedience and surrender, like, so all these pieces got connected. God's motives are pure. They're always, because he's pure. He doesn't act purely. He is pure. So if his motives are always pure, I say if, because you have to believe that. If you believe his motives are always pure, and you walk in obedience believing that, then your motives are made pure because of his purity. That whole thing, how he connected all of those pieces by bringing intimacy, that whole acronym on intimacy was huge for me. I'm trying to think if there's anything else about intimacy you have anything more to say about that at this point in time? Do you have anything more to say? I don't think so. Nothing else is coming to mind, which tells me that he's probably done with that. So intimacy with the Lord is really, really sweet, and what I have found for me is it's impossible to operate in true intimacy in external relationships until at least for me, until I've been able to be intimate with him, and he's allowed me this safe place with him to learn how to be intimate and learn how to be real and raw and honest in a environment of unconditional love and acceptance. I've had to learn how to do that so that I could then be real and raw and honest and just genuine with who I am with everyone else. So it's all been part of unfolding my identity, unfolding his acceptance, unfolding who I am, all of those things. So I think that's all I have to say now about intimacy, because nothing else is coming to mind. So kind of, the routine. What in this, are there other things that now you're curious about that you want to go kind of dig into and chase or sit with him and listen to what he would have to say or what he wants to show you? An awareness of, I think if nothing else, that what are some areas that you want to start to be aware of where there's a train, where you want to grow, areas that you want to grow in intimacy with him and in your relationships with other people. Because intimacy is all about being genuinely who you are and being honest without fear. And that's a safe place to learn how to do that. So the next, let's see, where are we? Intimacy, the next topic, and it's going to sound like a heavy topic, and you're probably not going to have fun doing it, but there's lots of good stuff here. So the next topic that we are going to spend some time on is iniquity. So I want you to go kind of chase down iniquity, see what you can learn about that, and I'll meet you right back here next time. Thanks. Happy hunting.